Okay, that's really weird. I film my videos alone in the basement, and there's nobody down here right now. And my Xbox just turned on. What the? Freddy! Bonnie!
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
This movie and this movie review are years in the making. I remember when I was in middle school and I heard that Five Nights at Freddy's was getting a movie. For context, I am about to graduate college. So, I have been waiting for this FNAF movie for years, since middle school, since my childhood. So if it already wasn't clear, yes, I played Five Nights at Freddy's as a kid, and that is why I wanted to do this movie review on the channel for all of you, for everybody who wants to go see this movie or is thinking about seeing this movie, because all of the movie reviews that I have seen so far on the internet, done by, let's just say, a more mature adult critic, YouTuber standpoint. I mean, all the guys that I watch on YouTube who reviewed this movie haven't played the games, and I feel like all the critics that have given this movie such a low score are all critics who haven't played the games, and they just don't get the lore. And I guess in layman's terms, what I guess it comes down to is the nostalgia for Five Nights at Freddy's. With that all being said, let's get into the review. Five Nights at Freddy's, directed by Emma Tammy. The movie centers around our main character Mike, who struggles to hold down a job. During this hard time, he agrees to work at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, a run-down old pizza establishment from the 80s. Due to some shady events, the pizzeria shuts down, but the owner continues to maintain the place, hiring Mike, and the events of this movie ensue. As you probably already know, this movie centers around killer animatronics and a security guard, who is Mike. But that is what this movie seems on the surface. This movie really is so much more. And this movie, I think, succeeds in the fact that it builds on what the games already were famous for. Brooding tension, just the ambiance of a rundown establishment that is overrun by entities or spirits. Yes, you learn in this movie, and this really isn't a spoiler, I wouldn't say. This whole review is going to be non-spoilers, by the way, but these animatronics are taken over by spirits or ghosts, and we'll leave it at that without giving away too much. Basically, what I was saying before is this movie does a great job on building on what the franchise Five Nights at Freddy's already is. Yes, you have your security guard. Yes, you have your animatronics. But this movie does something else with Mike's character that really hasn't been done in any other games, to my knowledge. In the movie, Mike has been haunted by this reoccurring dream of his brother. Mike, when he was little, was camping with his parents, and his little brother was abducted. And he was never found, and his capturer was never found. Mike tries to dream every single night to try and relive the events of his brother's abduction, to try and see something that he didn't see before that would hopefully lead to an answer to his brother's captor. I thought that was awesome. I am really into the whole dreamscape thing that they were doing with this movie. And then when the animatronics or the spirits seep into his dreams and they make him an ultimatum, it's all really, really good stuff. The negative for this movie is that it's really hardcore geared for children. I mean, they set up some amazing kills, some amazing scares, but you can tell they held back. You can tell that they didn't do certain things because this is for a PG-13 audience. I think Five Nights at Freddy's would have benefited big time from an R rating. But then that would alienate half of the fan base that got this franchise to the dance, and I can understand why they made this movie PG-13. However, I still believe there should be a director's cut of this movie, or an extended cut, and it's an R-rated version of this movie for the older, more mature audience. I mean, the fan base who started playing these games when they came out are majority my age, 21 and above. So we want to see Freddy rip somebody's head off. We want to see Foxy tear somebody up. We want to see that gore. I mean, at least I do. Let me know in the comments down below if you agree with me. But yeah, I think this film sets up a lot. And I'm excited to see what Blumhouse does, because I'm pretty sure that this is going to be a trilogy. I'm excited to see where they go from here. I would also be remiss if I didn't bring up the fact that Josh Hutcherson does a great job as our main character, Mike the security guard. His sister in the movie is also amazing. She is a great child actor. She really carries this movie, and sometimes child actors can make or break a film, and all of the child actors in this movie are outstanding. For one moment, I did not say I didn't believe them. They took me out of it. As a matter of fact, all the children that acted in this movie actually added to it. Their performances were so good, I can't stress that enough. And that brings me to Matthew Lillard. This is going to come to no surprise to any horror fan. Matthew Lillard knocks it out of the park. Shaggy, Stu, wherever you know him from, you know that he kills it and he knocks it out of the park every time. And us horror fans were so excited when Matthew Lillard was announced for Five Nights at Freddy's, and it kind of was written on the wall what character he would be or what character he wouldn't be. I'm not going to touch on that here, this is non-spoilers, but let's just say what he was given, he knocks out of the park. I can't stress that enough. He knocks it out of the park. I do think that he was underutilized, but at the same time, I think they gave us a taste of his character because he's going to perhaps, maybe, come back in the sequels. I don't know. You'll have to see it for yourselves. Matthew Lillard is an up, the child actors are an up, and the suits, oh my god, the animatronic suits were amazing in Five Nights at Freddy's. They were so realistic, and I think that's because they were a practical effect. If I'm not mistaken, all of the suits in Five Nights at Freddy's are practical and they were done in camera. I'm sure, yes, obviously, they were enhanced with CG, but for the most part, those suits were all real and really built there in camera, and they are outstanding. Jim Henson's Creature Shop were the ones who manufactured and created the Five Nights at Freddy's animatronics. It was director Emmy Tammy's decision to commit to practical effects when bringing the animatronic antagonists to life. So there it is right there. The animatronics are real. It shows, you can tell that there is something to them that isn't just a lifeless computer generation. Jim Henson Studios knocked it out of the park. Emma Tammy, I think, did a great job with what she was given and what she was allowed to do. You know, Universal and Blumhouse are banking on those big bucks, and those big bucks are going to come from the fan base today, and they just so happen to be children. I don't think it's fair to knock this movie because they made it for children. Yes, I do understand the frustration because the scares, the ambiance, the brooding emotion was there in this film. And I think that that's a positive that they could put that point across while also making this movie for children. The kills were cool, but they were left all to the audience's imagination. That's my take on Five Nights at Freddy's. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. If I have to rate the film, I would rate it a solid 6 out of 10. This is definitely purchase worthy. I would buy this movie when it comes out to have in my movie collection. It was that good. I can't wait to see the sequels. Maybe this is all coming from a place of nostalgia because I grew up playing the Five Nights at Freddy's original games. I don't know, but that's my take. Let me know what you think. I've been Maximus Cardillo. Are you not entertained?